Welcome back to 843 TV. We are now joined by Mario Incorvaia, who is the Vice President of Operations for the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra. Mario, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we understand that you've just been appointed as Vice President for the Symphony.
I have.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that job entails?
Yes, I began working with the Symphony in 2000 as the orchestra personnel manager and as one of the violinists in the Symphony.
Okay.
And so for many years, those responsibilities included attracting and hiring the best musicians we could find, and managing the personnel operations, and of course playing in the orchestra.
Sure.
Last year, it's nice when you can hire yourself, right?
That's right, job security.
Job security.
Yeah.
Last year, I was able to take over some of the responsibilities regarding production and a new community engagement initiative. So my role has been evolving, and this year, after all of that being done part-time, this year I'm now on full-time and have some new roles and new responsibilities, and one of the primary new responsibilities is maintaining some of the friendships, the business partnerships that our good friend Gloria Daly, many in the orchestra family know, and our audience knows Gloria throughout the island, who spent the last 20 or so years developing these relationships, has now retired. She retired in the spring, and she's handed this baton to me. So I'll be maintaining those relationships and looking forward to expanding our business partnership reach further into the Low Country.
All while continuing to play violin?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. I'll still be able to play. Yeah.
So I understand that you're also a board member. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges about being an employee and being a board member and how that all works with what you've just said?
Absolutely. It's one I embrace too. I've been a member of the board since 2009. And our board is 24 dedicated volunteers, immensely talented, generous, sharing of their time and their talent and their treasures. It's just a great pleasure to serve on this board. My role is as the musician representative, and I think the most critical piece in that is that I facilitate communication between the board and the musicians. And what's exciting for me is to be in the boardroom and there are decisions being discussed regarding the future of the orchestra, and I can provide the musician perspective on what that impact might be, or what is the best direction for our musicians. Just the same, a lot of times decisions are made and the thought behind them may not be self-evident. It's been very beneficial for me to be able to speak to our musician base with the frame of mind that the board had as a collective in making decisions, and it's made, I'd like to think, for a very beneficial relationship both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey Mario, I got a question. Where do the musicians come from that play in the orchestra? Are they all local, or do they come from other places?
We do have some local musicians. There are some talented musicians on the island. One way to look at it, I suppose, is it would be hard to field an orchestra of 70 just based on those who live right here on the island. So we do have talented musicians here. We have many musicians who travel from Savannah each day that we work, and a good size group from Charleston as well, who will make that trip back and forth. But you would be surprised, I think, to know that music being the competitive industry that it is, and these world-class conservatories training musicians and graduating musicians every year, that our reach is actually much broader. We have musicians from Rock Hill and Columbia and Greenville throughout South Carolina into North Carolina. We have musicians from Jacksonville from time to time. There's a hotbed of talent in Atlanta, and we're drawing a lot of immensely talented musicians from there as well. And one of my favorite answers to this question is that we have two musicians who travel to Hilton Head from Cincinnati because they've worked with our music director, John Morris Russell, in his other capacity as the Cincinnati Pops music director, and they enjoyed working with him so much that they wanted to come down and work with us when it was possible.
So they cycle through then, so you have
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So here we are in Hilton Head Elementary School.
Yes, we are.
And I understand that the Symphony has a new program with the schools this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that program and your involvement?
Yes, Music Bridges is the name of the program.
Okay.
And we chose this location deliberately. Hilton Head Elementary is one of our two partner schools in this new initiative. The other is Red Cedar Elementary in Bluffton.
Okay.
And before I really get into this current program, I also like to say that the orchestra has a long history of service in terms of education and working in the community. We've taken our international piano competition finalists into the schools during the week that they're here competing. We take every one of our guest artists into the schools. Our music director visits the schools when he's in town, and so we have maintained presence over the years. So this program, Music Bridges, now is a coordinated effort where we have a committee that involves musicians and board members from the symphony, the principal and music teacher from Hilton Head Elementary, and the same from Red Cedar, all developing this program that enhances the curriculum that's taught in the schools.
Yeah.
So over the course of the season, we take musicians into the classrooms, first one at a time, solo visits, where musicians will perform music and discuss music and support the education that's going on in each of these schools, and then follow that with visits later by string quartets, which would either be, in last year the case was 2 violins and a viola and a cello, or 2 violins and a viola and a bass. And so we followed up with similar visits with those small ensembles, and then culminated the experience for these students with a concert by our symphony for them just across the street in the Seahawk Cultural Center in April.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, so we will develop a new program each year. This past year was for grades 3 through 5, and our goal is to expand the program over the years so that we will reach every student in the county.
Very cool. Exposure to the arts,
Yes.
so important at this young age, critical. Mario, thank you very much
Great.
for being
Thank
here
you.
today. Thank you for watching 843 TV, where communities come to speak.